Okay, good afternoon to America. Good morning to the rest of the world. It's 11:07 down here. Uh, some interesting things in my mind. There are debates coming up, and they're screaming that Trump wants Biden to be drug tested. He's on drugs. Um, I honestly don't think there's a drug out there that'll actually do what he wants it to do. You know, that they think it'll help Biden. I mean, there's some, you know, theories going on, but one thing I know works is day before, I don't know the exact amount of hours or whatever you put in, but put him in a hyperbaric chamber and flood his brain with oxygen. They used to do that every so often to Colonel Sanders, who was suffering from dementia at the time, and he would come back to almost normal for a week or so, whatever. So he could go out and do whatever they needed him to do, and then they let him let him be. But I don't know if it does any permanent damage or how it affects him. But if that's what they're gonna, you want to claim something, you can claim that. That would work actually. Like I said, I don't know a lot of drugs that'll make you more cognizant or make you more understandable because the ones I used would never do that. Okay, so that's showing signs that they're a little worried and they're making excuses. See, that's the thing. He's making excuses before anything actually happens, before he loses the debate. So you have to assume that he's afraid of losing the debate. Now, why would he lose the debate? I don't know. You know, I have no idea. Uh, Other than if because it gets down to the issues, the actual issues, and not the you take the bullshit out of the debate, then the actual issues are going to be very difficult for Trump to overcome. Because I don't think he even knows what the issues are. You know, uh, he's got a bunch of people surrounding him that are similar to what the Nazis had surrounding Hitler. And dictators get that. When you take over a country, whether you're taking over a little country in Africa or if you're taking over a Caribbean country like Haiti or something like that, when you make a coup, what you're doing is you're walking in and you're telling them your leaders are no good. These people, they tend to pick out a people and say it's these people's fault or it's this person's fault. They're blaming somebody in order to get control. In Trump's case, he's blaming immigrants. And I'm sorry to say that I don't think that that's the case. I mean, I haven't seen them complaining about the Indians from India coming in and becoming doctors or technicians for AT&T, engineers and whatnot. I haven't seen any of that complaint yet. You know, uh, so I don't understand. Why they're complaining about what? Because you think all the guys that are coming in from Mexico aren't engineers. They aren't scientists. Some of them are, yeah, some of them are probably criminals. I mean, that's going to happen from any country. But you're saying that they're all criminals. You don't want any of them in this country, and that's a very racist statement to make, Mr. Trump. Uh, because you've hired them, whether you realize it or not. They're working at Bedminster Golf Club. They're working at some of the other golf clubs around. You know, because white people don't want to do manual labor anymore. Not for what you're willing to pay them. I mean, not for minimum wage. They'll do it, but not for minimum wage. They want more money, and I have no problem with them wanting more money. Uh, do these people come up here and learn how to avoid paying taxes and everything right away? Yeah, of course they do. It's in the news. There's pamphlets on it. There's anything you want. You know, how to hide, how to do this, how to do that, how to survive. Young people aren't worried about coming up here and getting citizenship unless they're going to school or something like that for a better job. But if they're just coming across the border to work in the fruit picker or something like that, they don't give a shit about the better education or anything like that. Uh, they don't care about paying. They don't want to pay taxes. They don't care about citizenship that much. But as you get older, the people that are coming in, they're worried about citizenship because they know that we have Social Security in place and other things and other items in place to protect the people that aren't that wealthy. Or we have it until whenever Trump gets elected and decides that he's not going to do that anymore. You know, and he's not. I told you several times he's not new to that. The Republicans have been doing this for years. They went after it started with Reagan. The Democrats just continued the process of borrowing from Social Security to balance the budget when necessary. Okay. They don't. The thing is that they're not paying us back. The government isn't paying us back. So that's why Social Security has problems now. It was when Reagan was in office and he initially borrowed did the first borrowing, was the most solvent program in the United States government, and it's not anymore. And that's the fault of the Republicans. That's the fault of politicians. Let me stop saying Republicans. The politicians, okay, who don't give a shit about us, the regular guys like you and me. If you think I'm rich, I'm like I guess. Down here, I live like middle to upper class, to middle or to upper class middle or something like that. I live pretty good, but that's because I'm living on American money and the exchange rate and everything is ideal for me. It's getting worse every year. It's getting harder to pinch pennies every year, but that's something that happens everywhere. As countries become more affluent. I am. If I was living in the United States, I would be lower income, not poor, lower income, close to poor. All right, so I'm not an affluent person talking about this. I'm a working guy, just like the other people are in the United States. I worked 60 years. I was 62 when I started getting Social Security. I worked all my life. I think I had two 40-hour-a-week jobs. Most everything I worked was close to 50 to 60 hours. Some of it paid overtime, some of it didn't, depending on the profession I was in. When I was a chef, there was no such thing as overtime. Okay. The guy I worked for cheated me a couple of times out of bonuses and whatnot, food cost bonuses, so my life wasn't the easiest thing in the world, and I'm enjoying my retirement as best I can right now. I'm getting older. I can't do the things I used to do. Getting medical attention down here if you can get it, it's great. But getting there and getting an appointment to see a doctor is a little bit different. And I understand that. And so far I'm okay with that. I think about that a lot as I get older. I'm not worried about dying. I'm just worried about being sick for a long time. But getting back to what I'm saying, Trump seems to be awfully worried about this. I think that I don't know that they're actually big threats to the country. The people. They threatened judges' lives. They threatened just about everybody, and you take like New York City, 35. I'm going to go by what they say on the Blue Bloods program, that there's 35,000 cops in New York City. You got a lot. You're going to have a certain percentage of I don't know the term, not bad apples, but possibly racism and what have you, subconsciously, and that if given the opportunity, they want to go out and beat the crap out of some people, they will. if Trump lets him, and Trump's going to let him. So he's threatening people, prosecution. I would sit down and say that if Trump loses and after the smoke clears and everything, I think people like Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump should be charged with treason because I believe that's why the documents were taken from out with him to Mar-a-Lago, if that's the way you pronounce it. I'm not sure, but to be sold, and they're not going to sell them to the Wall Street Journal. You don't sell a highly secretive document to the Wall Street Journal unless it's a political document, and these aren't political documents. I haven't heard what type of documents they are, so I don't know. So he bought them out to probably sell, to or, work deals someplace. I know he was involved in trying to build a hotel in Moscow, so I don't know if that's got anything to do with anything. It's just something to think about. But I think that if he does lose the election, which I hope very much that he does, and everything gets settled, that then he should be arrested and charged with treason and his little girlfriend Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's another one that should be charged with. I don't know if you charge her with treason. Just lock her up for having a custodial situation because I think she's a little nuts. I think she needs help. So it goes both ways. I don't know whether. All I can tell you is that they're not making threats. The Democrats, the Republicans are making threats. You go look at the so-called plans that they have. They're out there. It's going to be part of the platform. This is going to be and everybody's saying, well, if we make a mistake again, well, we can get rid of it. We'll take the good and get rid of the bad in 4 years. Nah, that ain't going to happen, folks. I'm sorry. Because you're not voting for one man. You're voting for a way of life. And that's what you don't understand. He'll have the power to destroy democracy from within. Just like the criminal organizations, what do you call them, in Russia, these very super rich people and whatnot have destroyed communism, and it's basically turned it into a, I don't know what kind of state, but it's not democratic. It's even though they hold elections, I don't think there's anything democratic about it. So that's what's been going on. Do that. I have no idea if who's going to win a debate or anything like that. I'm just sitting around, doing my thing and saying my thing and saying what I feel and I hope it resonates with somebody someplace. I was sitting around last night. I don't know what I read or watched or something. Oh, I just started listening to the Grateful Dead and stuff, and I said, it's too bad that my generation, the hippie generation, is gone, and that we're all old and sold our souls to or whatever. Because I think we need that. I think we need a youthful organization or group of people to start protesting now, because way he's operating and what he's saying, this is Donald Trump now, that if he becomes president, like the what was I don't remember the move. Anyhow, there was a police officer shot. There was some riots or protests across the country Some of them got a little out of hand. Trump wants to send the military in and shoot people. So, now's your chance to go out and organize and get set. And then, will you have to hide after the election? I don't know, maybe. You know, that's for the young people. The older people can do what the hell they want and just snub their nose. I said, go ahead. I'm not going to live much longer. I'm going to live me. I figure I got maybe 5 years left. Am I going to worry about that? No. Unless he gets elected, then I'm going to just get pissed. I wish I was in the United States so I could do something about it. But I can't afford to just go up there. I would have to take money that I need for to leave for my family and my grandkids and whatnot. So I sit here on YouTube making videos that basically nobody watches. Maybe 2 or 3 people will watch it. I don't know. They're out on other platforms, so I don't know whether people see them on the other platforms or not. I don't know whether that registers as a view with YouTube or not, because it sure as hell there's no views or anything. So I don't know. I had a lot better luck when I was doing live videos, but then I ran into internet problems, and I run into time constraints. I don't do this for a living. I don't want a job. I don't want responsibility. I just want to pay my bills, have some fun. But if I don't get involved, if I'm not speaking up when something bad happens, which is if his election is something bad, I have no excuses, and I don't like that. Listen, it's Saturday. Well, it's Saturday afternoon up there. It's still Saturday morning down here. But I'm going to take off now, because the longer I talk, the more absurd I get, and the more I start to overlap myself and say I'm confused and stuff like that, which I'm not. I just don't get to talk a lot, so I tend to think a lot faster than I can talk. So anyhow, all right. So listen, you have a nice Saturday. I'll talk to you tomorrow.